Bournemouth manager Andoni Iraola praised his side's excellent performance against Everton as the Cherries' European aspirations grow from strength to strength.
I finished very happy with the performance because we were the only team today, that was having the chances, and obviously it looks just we win at the end 1-0, but I feel like if we play again this game, we are gonna win it again. So I think it's a good sign. I think we were quite solid. It's difficult to create chances against Everton. We didn't expect to go against the keeper 3-4 times because it never happens against them, and we have to keep our patience, don't get desperate, and I think we played well.
That is a 1-0 win then that Bournemouth earn over Everton. Cass takes them on to 33 points. They're 3 points off the top four. Big European aspirations, no doubt, then, for this side. You look at the sort of stats of this game, and we looked at the highlights. I mean, they had chance after chance, but they came up against a really strong, stubborn Everton defence, but also Jordan Pickford in goal.
Yeah. This is an hard one, Nat, because we watched the highlights, because you can't have your eyes over every game and watch the highlights. It was one-way traffic.
Yeah.
Jordan Pickford's pulled off save after save. Now, how long is this goals? I mean, there must be the hardest watch of all, Everton, because they're not the bottom of the goal-scoring table as in the Premier League. Southampton has scored less than them. If you go back to last season, Nat, the lowest scorers in the Premier League, Everton.
I know.
40 goals they got last year. 40 goals. So their fan base have to watch football on pretty much a weekly basis of low scoring. Mm-hmm. And that must be a hard call, watching Everton play.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I don't think they had a shot on target in the game.
Well, Pickford looked like he saved them 2 or 3 times at least in the game.
Yeah. So looking at them, they didn't have a single shot on target. So for the travelling support, that's joyous. And then they've won just one of their last 11 league matches. What are they? 16th in the table. They're only 2 points off the drop zone.
Well, you've been saying for a little while, haven't you? You've talked a lot about Everton. And you've got friends.
It's so hard for me because I do have some really close friends who are Evertonians, and I absolutely love going to Everton. I just find that they're one of the most welcoming clubs. But I worry about them. I think the goals, you've just highlighted it, the goals is their biggest issue.
Well, that's a year and a half that I've just talked about. And that's without going back to the previous season.
And in 19 of their games, they've not scored an 11. There's so many things that's a worry. Yes, they're very good. They can be very good defensively. They can cause teams problems. But I just think at the end of the day, you only need an Ipswich side to start picking up a couple of results. And Everton could easily be dragged into it because at this present moment, we can't see them scoring any goals. And he went with Broja up front. I think he went off injured. Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on. He can't get a goal. It's just, there's so many issues going forward for them. And because they play so deep, then when someone like a Dominic Calvert-Lewin is up front, he's so isolated. He can't hold up play because there's no one around to help him. So it's just, there's so many problems for Everton. I do worry for them.
Ask the question, is it a coincidence that every centre forward they've had in recent years finds it hard to get goals?
I know.
Whether it's, I mentioned, Calvert-Lewin, we talk about Beto, we talk about Neil Maupay. Okay, he's the villain at Everton, apart from that. But there's been others who play that role who cannot buy a goal.
No.
And now the style is obviously, when they haven't got the ball, they get everybody to defend for the team. And as you said, you can't get bodies forward. If you bring everybody back, when the ball breaks and you clear it, you're clearing it to the opposition all the time. So then they start another attack. I just don't know how long this can continue with. Yeah. Everton are only 2 points clear of Ipswich in the bottom 3.
I know. It's I mean, they do have the best defence of any team in the bottom half.
Yeah.
25 goals conceded is pretty impressive, really, considering where they are in the
table.
So
what we're going to say then, they're going to stay up by the skin of their teeth, basically.
Which is what Everton fans are used to of late, unfortunately. It was a 1-0 victory, though, for Bournemouth in the end. We've got to move on to the game at Selhurst Park, which you were at. Chelsea's winless Premier League run has extended now to 4 games after Jean-Philippe Mateta struck late on to earn a draw for Crystal Palace. The Blues ended 2024, as we know, in disappointing fashion, losing successive matches, failing to win in 3, and that form has carried over into 2025. Cole Palmer opened the scoring And then, as we said, Mateta equalised late on. Speaking to talkSPORT's Ollie Klink, the Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca claimed his side have a lot to learn after spurning several chances to win the game.
Yeah, as I said, I think this moment is part of our season. We finished the game with very young, team, two players born 06, 18 inside the pitch. But I think even with that, we completely deserve to win the game today.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me, Cass. Just a few weeks ago, we're talking about Chelsea being on this, 12-game unbeaten run.
A few weeks ago, they could have topped the league.
Well, exactly. They were on this incredible run. They were very much in the title race. Fast forward to today, they're waking up knowing they're 9 points off currently, off Liverpool. Could extend more because Liverpool have a game in hand.
2 games in hand.
Well, yes, absolutely. What's gone wrong? You were there. What's happened?
Chelsea was superb, I would say, for 80 minutes of the game.
80 minutes.
80 minutes of the game. 2 boys in midfield, Caicedo and Fernandes, were running the show. Palace stayed in the game. Chelsea didn't convert the chances they had. Nicholas Jackson had a couple. He wasn't very clinical. Chelsea were good. Sancho was really good on the left wing. Defended brilliantly for Chelsea at times. And also done brilliant for the Chelsea goal for Cole Palmer. Fantastic dummy. He looked like they're going to definitely take him up on the 20-25 million.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and he looks like a completely different Sancho to me, watching him. Even from the one I watched when they played Forest at home at the start earlier on in the season, he's improved a lot. Chelsea ended up giving the game away, and by the end were hanging on. And it's so odd, Nat, that the last 4 games, what you can say is that Ipswich did this. They intimidated Chelsea and pushed them hard and ended up making it a bit of a battle and ended up winning 2-0. Fulham did that in the second half at Stamford Bridge. Palace in the last 10-15 minutes pushed hard and could have nicked it in the end from a game that, OK, Chelsea had way more possession, but they just weren't as clinical as they need to be. But there was lots of good things happening at Chelsea because they are a decent side. Maresca spoke about this a few weeks ago, about he really didn't see a challenging team. If you'd have watched them yesterday, that was every evidence of why they can't challenge for the title. They're going to have a battle on for the top 4
Well,
place.
I was about to ask you that.
It's going to be a battle for them. I think they're good enough to get it because what I saw for 80 minutes yesterday was really good. But once they conceded, it was a different story. And that's the theme of the last 4 games in the Premier League, really. Well, they've scored 2 goals in the last 4 Premier League games now.
I know.
2 goals.
Strange.
That's never going to be enough. There's way more in this team.
Yeah. A quick word on Crystal Palace then, who move on to 21 points, 6 points clear of the bottom 3. Are they not in the relegation picture?
Well, it was interesting because Glasner spoke about the fact that they can't press the very top teams. And he doesn't want to, and they stepped off the pedal of really getting too tight to the Chelsea players, and they kept in the game. And they've ended up, yes, they're getting lots of draws, but they could quite easily lose them. Whereas Palace are doing, they're getting. Eze's always going to create. If he was a good finisher, because his finishing isn't as good as what a good player he is, because he is a terrific footballer, Eze. But he made the goal for Mateta, and they got something out of a game that they were second best for probably 80-90% of the game.
But have a habit of sticking around.
Yeah.
Staying in the game.
Stayed in the game. And, and he's admitted they've sort of, we hear so much of managers refusing to change their styles, and he openly admits that they had to change slightly to get results, even if it means draws instead of losing.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.